Quick installation guide on how to install cantilever brakes. But all cantilever brakes are pretty much installed in the same way. This version is the Shimano BR-CT9. Let's get straight into it. Once you've removed the old brakes and degreased the area, you'll notice it's quite a straightforward setup. You'll find a straightforward braze on, and this will be common across all frames, with a shaft sticking out and a back plate that has 3 holes in it. Lightly grease the braze on. I'm using marine grease here because it's waterproof. Now time to install the brake. You will notice there's a small part of the spring sticking out straight. This spring moves the brake back away from the wheel rim once you let go of the lever. It can go in any of the 3 holes on the brake mount. I always start with the middle hole, but you can adjust that later if you need to. Slide the brake on, then screw in the screw. On this occasion it's a 5mm Allen key. Don't forget the washer. It's rinse and repeat on the left hand side. Don't forget to locate the spring in the middle hole. You can choose any of the 3 holes. The position of the spring in the holes controls how hard the brake returns back to its home position. If you choose the top hole, the spring is under more tension, so will return back quicker and harder. The bottom hole, no sniggering, will put the spring under less tension. Now to adjust the lever. Screw the barrel adjuster all the way in, then out 5 or 6 turns to give you some adjustment later. Now to test fit the brake cable. Stick one end into the barrel adjuster on the brake lever and the other into either the stem or headset mounted brake stop. Hold the cable where you think you're going to cut it and twist the handlebars to make sure you've got enough slack on the line. Cut the outer cable, now we're ready to run the inner. The inner brake cable has a round metal end to it. Pull the brake lever back and slide the cable into it. Now thread the end of the inner cable through the barrel adjuster on the brake lever. Thread the inner brake cable into the outer brake cable, making sure not to tangle everything around the handlebars. At this point the brake cable will be way too long, but don't cut it down because it's difficult to thread through when it's frayed at the ends. Grab the linking wire and thread the end of the brake cable through the right hand side. The left hand cable on the linking wire is a fixed length. Grab it and hook it over the left hand cantilever. Now thread the right hand side through the right hand cantilever brake. You may well have to undo the clamping bolt here, it's a 5mm Allen bolt. I've recorded this without the front wheel in to make it easier to see in the video. You don't need to take it out, but it's time to pop it back in. You need to clamp the cable so there's about 1mm or 2 of movement on the brake pads to give you room to adjust them. You will see straight out of the box the pads are miles away from touching the actual rim. This is normal. You will need a 5mm Allen wrench and a 10mm spanner to adjust the brake. The 10mm spanner at the back tightens up the bolt, and the 5mm Allen key at the front allows you to adjust everything. What we're trying to achieve here is for the brake pad to hit the rim centrally. Here the brake pad is hitting too low, and we're moving the brake pad up the arm of the cantilever. Once you've achieved this, the next thing to do is towing of the brake pad. This may sound technical, but it's actually quite simple. It just means you need to work out the direction of the wheel, which will be going forward here, so the back end of that brake pad should hit first. And the natural rotation of the wheel will then pull the rest of the pad onto the surface of the brake rim. It can be quite frustrating when you're learning to do it the first time. You don't seem to have enough hands. Try and tension the 10mm nut at the back so it's just nipping the brake pad up, and this will allow you to adjust the brake without keep losing your position. Once you're happy with the position of the brake block hitting the rim, tighten it up and you're ready to move on to the other side. When you're doing this, what you're trying to do is mirror the same settings you've done on the left on the right. If you're struggling to do that, check that the wheel is in the centre of the forks. Now you're happy with that, pull the long end of the cable all the way through and tension it up. You should hold the brake cantilevers together when you do this, so the brake blocks are almost touching. like I'm not doing here. I'd already done it previously to tighten it up off camera. Now it's time to pull the brake lever. Are the cantilevers pulling in at the same rate both sides? Normally not straight out of the box, but they're pretty good here. You can see there's slightly more movement on the right hand brake. To fix this, there's a small Phillips screw on the right hand cantilever. Twist that to the right to make more tension, to the left less tension. You can see I've done it the wrong way here because the brake is pulling even more, so I'm turning to the left to back off the tension and it's pulling much better. A little bit more, and I've overshot it, so just a quarter of a turn back again. Perfect. At the back of the linking wire there's a small notch. You just need to move the cable across into that and it locks it into place. Now all there is to do is cut off the excess cable, twizzle the frayed end with your fingers, being careful not to stab yourself, and then crimp on the cable end. You can do this with a set of pliers. Thank you for watching. If you've got anything to add, please put it in the comments below.